guy walks into a bar and sees a sign that reads, hamburger $1, cheeseburger $2, ham job $3. He calls to the attractive blonde behind the counter. Can I help you? She asks with a smile. I was wondering, whispers the man. Are you the one who gives the hand jobs? Yes, she purrs, I am. Well, wash your hands, he says. Couple had been married for 50 years. They were sitting at the breakfast table one morning when the old gentleman said to his wife, just think, we've been married for 50 years. Yeah, she replied. Just think, 50 years ago we were sitting here at this breakfast table together. I know, the old man said, but we were probably sitting here stark at 50 years ago. Well, Granny snickered. What do you say should we strip? So the two stripped to the buff and sat down at the table. You know, honey, the little old lady said, eyes are as hot for you today as they were 50 years ago. I wouldn't be surprised, replied Gramps. A man went into a tattoo parlor and asked to have a $50 bill tattooed on his neck. The tattoo artist says, I've had some strange requests, but this one tops the lot. Why in the hell would you want me to tattoo your prick with a picture of banknotes? The man replied, there are 3 reasons. 1. I love to play with my money. 2. When I play with my money, I love to see it grow. 3. And this is the most important of all, the next time my wife wants to blow $50. One morning, the members of a farm family were coming to the kitchen for breakfast. Just as Junior seated himself, his mother told him he was not going to get anything to eat until he went to the barn and fed the animals. Irritated at this, he stomped out the door and headed for the barn. As he fed the chickens, he kicked each one in the head. As the cow bent down to start in one the fresh hay he had just put in the stall, he kicked it in the head. He poured food for the pigs, and as they started eating, he kicked them in the head. He went back to the kitchen and sat down again. His mother was furious. I saw what you did, and as you kicked the chickens, you'll get no eggs for breakfast. And since you kicked the cow, you'll get no milk and no bacon or sausage because you kicked the pigs. Just then the father came down the stairs and nearly stripped on the family cat. Unimpressed, he kicked the cat off the stairs. The boy looked at his mother and asked, Tony had been feeling guilty all day long. No matter how much he tried to forget about it, he couldn't. The guilt and sense of shame was overwhelming. But every once in a while he'd heard that soothing voice trying to reassure him. Tony, don't worry about it. You're not the first surgeon to sleep with one of your patients, and you won't be the last. And you're single, so just let it go. But invariably the other voice would bring him back to reality. Tony, you're A A couple were having trouble conceiving a child, so they went to a doctor. He examined them and concluded that the problem was one of the insufficient penetration. He suggested to the man that they try the rear entry position. The man said, "What is that?" The doctor replied, "Just watch the dogs and do like they do." The man said, "My wife is very shy and she won't do that." The doctor replied, "Try giving her a glass of wine or two and she will lose all inhibition." Some while later, the doctor met the man pushing a stroller. "I see it worked," the doctor said. "Yes, it did, Doc, but now the problem is my wife is an alcoholic." "How did that happen?" the doctor asked. "Well, every time we did it, it took 7 or 8 drinks just to get her." A 54-year-old accountant leaves a letter for his wife on Friday evening that reads, "Dear wife, I am 54 and by the time you receive this letter, I will be at the Grand Hotel with my beautiful and attractive 80-year-old secretary." When he arrives at the hotel, there is a letter waiting for him that reads as follows, "Dear husband, I too am 54 and by the time you receive this letter, I will be at the Breakwater Hotel with my handsome and rural 80-year-old boy toy." You being an accountant will know that 80 goes into 54 many more times than A man had just bought a computer, but he didn't know how to set it up, so he got this girl to do it for him. When she asked him what his password was going to be, he said, trying to be funny. She didn't laugh at him, but she laughed at the response that came up. Password rejected, not long enough. As an ultimate test of his willpower, a man decided to give up eggs for Latin. Although not thrilled with the idea, his wife agreed to support him in this effort. The first few weeks weren't too difficult. Things got further during the next couple of weeks, so the wife wore her tedious night clothes and chewed and garlic before going to bed. The last couple of weeks were extremely tough on the husband, so the wife took to locking the bedroom door and forcing the husband to sleep on the couch. Easter morning finally came. A knock came on the wife's bedroom door. Knock, knock, knock. Husband, guess who? Wife, I know who it is. Husband, guess what I want? Wife, I know what you want. Husband, guess what? A man wakes up one morning with the worst hangover and no recollection of the night before. Slowly opening his eyes, he sees a bottle of spirit and a glass of water on the bedside table. He looks around the room to find his clothes are neatly folded on the dresser with a clean shirt on top. The bedroom is immaculate. On the bedside table is a note that says, "Darling, your breakfast is in the kitchen. I love you." Downstairs, he finds his favorite cereal, croissants, fresh and freshly brewed coffee waiting for him, along with the morning paper and his 50-year-old son who is finishing his own breakfast. "Tell me, son," he asks, "what happened last night?" "Well," says the boy, "you came home so drunk you didn't even know your own name. You nearly broke the door down, then you were sick in the hallway. Then you knocked the furniture over, and when Mom tried to calm you down, You thought she was the police, so you gave her a black eye. Chris, says the man. Then how come my clothes are all folded, the house is tidy, and my breakfast is ready? When mom dragged you into the bedroom and tried to get your pants off to put you into bed, you shouted at her, "Get your filthy hands off me!"